Stop telling women that you feel better since you quit weight training. It's not cute, it's not clever, and it's actually more harmful than you realise. Alright, I need to talk about this. There's a trend going around where women are saying, I quit weight training and now I feel amazing. They're less stiff, less inflamed, more toned, more energised, and some of them are even claiming their hormones are better, whatever that means. And they're also replacing weight training with Pilates or yoga because that's what will fix them. I'm going to start by saying this is not an attack on Pilates or yoga. Both of them are great, and I encourage everyone to find exercise that they enjoy doing and that feels good for them. But the message that they're putting out there with these videos is that weight training was the problem, and it's just not true. So first off, I'm not going to call out a specific individual for these messages because it's a trend, and the video I saw was probably just one of many. But the narrative of these videos usually is along the lines of, I quit weight training and now my body feels more toned, less inflamed, way more mobile, I have a lot more energy than I used to, I'm not hungry all the time, I don't feel stiff. And I get it, they probably do feel better, but they're blaming the wrong thing. The weight training was never the issue. It was the overtraining that did it. And you know what? I know exactly how this person felt because I've been there. I used to try and PB every session. Never ate enough. And this was never intentional. I was just working from like 6 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. in the evening, along with training. And I trained most days in one form or another. So even though I ate a fair amount of food, I was still under fuel. And so when you mix that with lack of sleep, poor recovery, max effort every single session, you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel tired, hungry. You're probably going to struggle with motivation. Your body might be inflamed. There's a high chance of it messing with your cycle. And yeah, you're going to feel pretty stiff as well. I used to wake up most mornings feeling like I had to warm up just to walk like a normal person. So the feelings are real. I am not discounting the fact that this person felt like crap. But these are all classic signs of overtraining, and you can do this with any form of exercise. You can even feel like this by walking too much. And so all that's happened is she's changed the intensity of her training, and of course she's going to feel better. So she quits weight training and starts Pilates or yoga and walking or whatever, and suddenly she feels great again. But let's think about why. The intensity is lower, she's training less load, more mobility, and even from a food point of view, it's much easier to stay on top of food when your training intensity or volume is less. The reality is women very easily underfuel, even if they're not doing it on purpose. I've been there. I still find it tough every now and then. I'm not perfect with it. When you're training 5, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week. For example, I do jiu-jitsu and I lift weights. And if I'm on top of food, I need to be eating around 5 or 6 meals a day, which is quite hard to do, just logistically, but even from an appetite point of view, you have to get your body used to that. And if you're not religiously planning this stuff, it's very, very easy to be underfueled. Now, the less you train, the less you need to be doing that. You could probably get away with 3 meals a day or 2 big meals a day and some snacks because you're just not training this hard. And so yes, I fully agree, you need to find a schedule and training intensity that works for you, that you can also recover from. So Pilates wasn't really the fix, it was just managing the intensity of a training, and she finds this schedule a lot easier to recover from. But I do want to cover why this message is so dangerous, especially for women. And this part really pisses me off. Women have already been discouraged from strength training for fucking ages. And a lot of us, myself included, have spent a very long time trying to encourage women to lift weights, to not be afraid of strength training or muscle, inspiring them to be strong and healthy and not just focus on being as small as possible and starving themselves. So when influencers say that lifting is the reason you feel stiff and exhausted and inflamed, they're just doing more fear-mongering, and it's really not helping the cause. We need muscle for aging, for joints, for health, for longevity, for better quality of life, for confidence, for being capable. Pilates and yoga are brilliant additions and I am all for it, but they don't replace lifting, and they definitely shouldn't be marked as the thing that saved you from the horrors of weight training. If weight training is making you feel like crap, you're doing it wrong. And I am just going to say this now. If weight training is making you feel stiff, you're exhausted, you're struggling to balance it all, don't quit. That's exactly what I teach within the Strong as Fuck Club. Proper strength training program that has the right intensity for you and what you have time for should make you feel strong, fast, mobile, energized. And if that's not happening for you, you know where I am. There's still this common misconception that strength training programs are typically like a 4 or 5 day split, because those are the traditional bodybuilding splits, like upper lower twice a week. I have never lifted more than 3 times a week, and none of my clients lift more than 3 times a week. A lot of them lift 2 to 3 times a week because they also want to balance it with other things, even Pilates, yoga, jiu-jitsu, climbing, running, life. If you understand how to train with the right amount of intensity, you understand how to recover properly, the things you can do that are realistic as well. I will remind you, most of you aren't full-time athletes. You don't have time to be preparing meals every 5 seconds. These are all things that I help my clients with within the Strong as Fuck Club. So no, lifting was never the problem. Your training intensity, not recovering, not sleeping, the all or nothing mindset. Women deserve better information than lifting made me feel awful. You can lift weights and feel amazing, funnily enough. You don't have to choose, you can do both. And if you want help training in a way that supports your life, your hobbies, your sport, in a way that's sustainable and actually makes you feel good, then check out the Strong as Fuck Club. And if you've seen these videos too, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, because I have many thoughts about these. Thanks for listening.